So, guys, we are going to start today in we call it a reverse Shavasana, okay? So how that's going to look is it's going to be, we'll do one side first and then the other. You're going to come down to your belly. Now when you get to your belly, as usual, pull the ribs forward a little bit, get a nice little belly stretch. And your left arm is going to be down by the side of the body. Of course, if that does not work out, you can always have it open, but we're going to try and have the left side down. The right arm is open 90 degrees cactus arm to the side. The right leg is going to be also 90 degrees. So your right side of the body is 90 degree opened out to the side. The left side of the body is down, right? You're going to turn your head to the right. Lay that down. I actually have to ignore this hand. I have to do this so I have room for the mic. And you're going to try and let this top leg, this right hip, and kind of slide it out to the side a little bit so you get a little hip opener there. Oop, mine just popped. This is where we're going to start. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to the sensations of the right side of your body, which in this position are very open, and the left side of your body, which is a little heavier, more closed. Notice the position of your neck, how this twist in the neck feels. Notice how your belly and chest expand and contract with each breath. One second. There we were. Keep relaxing. Bluetooth is being finicky. Now what you're going to do from this spot is very, very slowly, as if you're half asleep, pull the leg and the arm in. So we close the right side, turn the head to the left, and open your left side. Left arm and leg out and open 90 degrees. And again, try to slide that leg out a little bit so like the inside of your thigh, the kind of inside front of the hip is reaching a little bit more down toward the ground, opening that left hip. And breathe. Let the eyes close. Staying present with all the sensations of the body and the breath. There we go. Notice how your lower back rises and falls as you breathe. Enjoy this moment, this practice. Allow yourself to step away from any busyness, any drama of the day, of your life, of the lives of others, of the world. And we slowly breathe it in. Your head comes to center. Bring your arms forward under your chin or cheek or forehead, whatever is comfortable to you. From here, bending both legs, both knees, and open both knees out as wide as you can. Almost feels like a cobbler pose, right? Bottoms of your feet touch together, the heels touch, and all 10 toes touch. Take a moment first and actually feel the sensation of your big toes touching each other. Going down to the next toe. Then that middle toes. Those toes just next to the pinky toe. And the actual pinky toes, feel it. From here, press your hips into the ground, press your inner thighs into the ground, a little activation, and start to drop your feet as much as possible without losing that press of the hips. So the front of your hips are flush to the ground when you're touching your mat. You started our practice kind of with this open hip and these bent knees, but now we're just putting it together, doing them at the same time. Don't lose your connection of heels and toes. Keep some awareness there. Nobody said it was easy. Allowing gravity to be your prop, allowing the hips to open. This is the same turnout of the body we find in tree pose, we find in warrior twos. No one ever said it would be this. Soften through the hips. Even as they stay a little active, yeah. Still keeping the front of the hips flat to the ground. Finding the balance between the effort of that press and the ease of letting go of where those tight spots are. I was just guessing the numbers. Feel your belly and chest move against the ground as you breathe. Questions of science and progress do not speak as loud as. Gently begin to lift your feet up. Walk the knees in. Come back and haunt me. And let the feet switch side to side. Running in circles, chasing tails, coming back as we. The legs extend out and down. We bring our elbows in underneath our shoulders and coming into Sphinx pose. Roll the top of your thigh flesh in toward each other a little bit. Tops of the feet flat if you can. Elbows directly under the shoulders. 90-degree bend in your elbows. The forearms are parallel. Palms flat. Inhale. Press the shoulders down. Move the heart forward and up. Look high. Exhale, just look down. That's all that changes, the flexion of the neck. Chin toward your chest. Feel that stretch down the back of your neck, down the back of the shoulders. Keep pushing the ground away from you. Keep the shoulders down and away from the ears. Inhale. Head lift to center. All the way up to the sky. Exhale down. Inhale high. And then start to find movement in the neck for you that feels good. You can turn the head side to side, bowing the head down, find little circular movements. And looking for those areas that feel good. Noticing the areas that are a little tender. And one more inhale, lift the gaze, lift the chin as high as you can, open. And exhale, bring it all the way down. Bring the hands by the sides of the chest. We're going to child pose. Press the body up and draw the sit bones back to the heels. Big toes touch. Head down. Breathe. This practice is your gift to yourself. Enjoy it. We're coming up to all fours. So from here, we actually haven't done this one position in quite a while. It's for the wrists. I'm going to angle a little bit this way. We're going to take our hands, turn the fingers inward so that the fingers are facing each other, right? Line up those little fingers, spread the fingers wide, flatten the knuckles, a little softness in the elbows. You're going to curl your toes and then press your hips back to the heels. Stretch. So you could be getting a nice little foot stretch here too with that toe curl. Press into the pinky fingers, outer edges of your hands. Notice that stretch in your thumbs. If you want more, uncurl the feet and draw the hips lower. Return it up. Now turn your fingers outwards. Spread them wide, flat knuckles, start with curled toes so that the hips don't have so far to travel, and draw it back. Press into thumbs, pointer fingers. If you need more, uncurl the toes and the hips will go lower, and that angle in the wrists goes deeper. Breathe. Bring it up. So here we have the fingers now turning toward you. Make sure that the eye of the elbow, the inside of the elbow is facing forward. Fingers face you, and if they can't go all the way, it's okay. Just go as far as you can. Yeah? Just here, start to alternate, bending one elbow and then the other. Picking one heel of the hand up and then the other. You're going to feel a pretty big stretch down inside of your forearms. As much as you can, try to keep your fingers long and flat. The knuckles like to curl up here. So if this is about all you can handle today, just stay with this. You can even linger on one arm longer than the other if it feels a little bit tight. If you want to go deeper, curl the toes, draw it back. Maybe uncurl the toes. Go a little further. It's okay if the heel of the hands lift up a little bit. Breathe. And here we're actually going to come back to sit onto the heels, sort of come up into your hero's pose. If you can't sit like this, just come down to your sit bones. And you're going to press the top of your hands into the ground now and stretch the wrists out. Little release. Wiggle your fingers. You're controlling the amount of weight in the hands, the amount of pressure. What am I supposed to do? Sit around and wait for you. return to all fours. Hopefully those wrists and arms feel a little bit different. You can almost come onto the fists if you need to give those wrists a little bit of a break. Cat-cows, inhale, open belly, heart, look up to the sky, just like you did in that Sphinx. Exhale, zip up your belly, round, push the ground away. Cat. Inhale, opening cat. Your breath. You're exploring playful movements. Your next breath, come to neutral spine. We're going to curl the toes, sit back to the heels a little bit, and then open your knees a step wider. Yeah, kind of opening up to the width of your mat. You can go ahead and walk your hands back a little bit. We're kind of coming into a little crouch. We're going to rock back into the toes, lift the knees. All right, so your toes will probably turn outward a little bit with those knees. You can even go really deep cobbler if you wanted to. Check it out, like really, really, really wide, or just keep the knees a little bit forward. So how wide the hips are, up to you. Stretch the tailbone back, but don't let the heels touch the floor. And walk the hands forward as much as you can. So here, dip your heart down, kind of like you're doing puppy pose. Finding length. Reverse, walk the hands in. We're going to bring the knees together. We're going to find a little adorable pose balance. So from here, we're going to try to lift the heels as high as you can. That brings those knees pretty far up. And we're going to take one, I'm going to have to stop looking at the camera so I can keep balance myself. One elbow up on top of the knee. If you can find your balance. Other elbow on top. Interlace the fingers. We haven't done this in a while. And bring those knuckles under your chin. This is what I call it, adorable pose. Because then everyone just looks so cute. Breathe. And so it is. The shorter story. From here, taking your hands down. We're going to go into our forward fold Uttanasana. So let the heels come down. Stretch those hips up. Feel free to open the knee, open the legs, bend the knees. Your first forward fold. Let yourself enjoy it. Sway, shake out the head, anything you need. Maybe you love hugging the elbows over the head. You might like interlacing along the back of the head. Maybe like a little shoulder stretch, arms up over, or hands interlaced, arms going up and over the head. But we're going to hang here for a few more breaths. So play, release. I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes. And so it is. So here we're going to keep our hands on the ground. You can press up to the fingers, is fine. We're going to come up, lengthen. Now, if the feet are wide or if they're really close together, you're going to bring them in about hips width apart, hip to shoulder, kind of like that, a little bit around that distance. Toes facing straight forward. Spread the toes, lift the arches. A little bend in your knees so that your left hand can go flat under your face. And you can almost take that hand onto a block if you prefer. Right arm to the sky and straighten that right leg as much as you can. Look up past your fingers. Try to bend your left knee a little bit more. You can wiggle your hips left and right. Top arm can open further behind you. It can wrap around the low back and try to grab the flesh of the left thigh. Maybe you want to reach it over your head. Play with it here a little bit. Feel what your body needs tonight. Or that bottom hand can always be a fist, can always be up on the fingers. And if the wrist needs a little bit less, give yourself one more inhale, find a little more opening and length. Your exhale, bend the knee, fold it down. Let yourself just hang, let it go. Check your breath, tongue at the bottom of your mouth. Let's do the other side. So we have that bend in the knees, the right hand comes under the face, and the left arm is going to reach up, left leg straightens, right knee bends, maybe a little deeper, and that top arm can find a little bit of exploring movement. The hips can wiggle, and you're kind of just looking for the best spot, the best gift for yourself. I can't take my mind off of you. I can't take my mind. One more inhale to open. And exhale, take it down. Let's do this one more time. Single breath. Right arm, right leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, left arm. Left leg is straight. Exhale, down. From here, take your hands onto the shins. Lengthen halfway up. Cool. So we want a nice tabletop spine right now, and be have that tiny tuck in the tailbone where you're going to kind of engage your core muscles, right? Almost again like that cat, but not so big. From here, use your thighs, engage. You're going to take your hands off the legs. Now it can just be one hand if you're a little bit tender today. What we're going to try and do is hug the elbows and let these arms kind of dangle here. As you exhale, fold. Keep hugging the elbows. We're going to come up again. Inhale, halfway. You can always bend your knees for a little bit less. Exhale down. Inhale, halfway. Now, if you want more than this, you swing those forearms up over the head. Exhale down. Inhale, halfway. And down. One more time. Lengthen. And down, release. Standing. So that same idea, flat back, right? And this time it was all the way up. Woo, hopefully you're pretty warm from that. Shake it out. Toes forward. Just some nice cleansing breaths in through the nose. Reach it up and up. Out and down. Outside from the mouth. Again, inhale, lift. And down. One more time. Open. Big, beautiful breath. Out through the mouth. Nice. From here, open up the legs about shoulder width. You can go a little bit wider if you want to. We're going to take a slanted side/back bend, right? It actually helps if I turn a little bit sideways for this one. We're going to take the right hand to the back of the body. So depending on your body, you might have it at the back of your hip, kind of propped up by your butt. If you can, back of the thigh, which I'll just kind of do this way. And where the left arm comes up. What we're doing is sort of a combination of a side bend and a little back bend. So the back bend, we're going straight back, side bend would be straight to the side. We're coming right that diagonal, middle ground. Breathe. That right hand keeps sliding down the back of the leg. You can take a sway, just like you did when you were in that extended forward fold of the arm to the sky, or moving the hips side to side. You can do that here. Top arm can experiment and explore. Great space in that left side. And return it up. Just give it an inhale, lift. Out through the mouth. Feel that difference. One more time. Inhale up. And down. All right, other side. Left hand down the back of the leg. Right arm up. And reach it. And not all the way to the side, but not all the way to the back. It's sort of like that little diagonal. Putting weight in that left hand. If you want to open the legs wider, go ahead. Maybe crawling down to the calf. Find that exploring movement when you get there, when you get to your stopping place. Breathe. And return. Inhale, lift it up. Out of the mouth. Again, open. Let it out. Go into your forward fold. Inhale up. And down. All the way down. Time went by, I could see the signs, I could feel it in your kiss. Halfway get long, press with the shins or the floor. And exhale, plant the hands and come back into all fours. And then down onto your sit bones. Nice. Bring the legs out in front of you, give them a little loving shake. From here, taking your right leg, we're going to bend it behind us as much as we can, right? So ideally, the top of the foot comes flat to the ground, but if it's a little bit tight, so you might be a little bit out to the side, and that's okay. Move the flesh of your calf out and over to the side so the knee can have a nice deep bend. Activate the leg. Press it down into the floor and start to walk your hands back. We're looking for the stretch at the top of this right quad up into the front of the hip. The knee does not come off the ground. If you need more, come down to your elbows. Keep that leg active. You might have to play with how the angle of the knee. The knee might be really close in. You might have the knee a little bit out, right? Where do you get the best stretch? It's not tweaking the knee, ankle, or hip. If you need more, left leg, bend the knee in. Experiment with swaying the torso, a little side to side. Chin going to one shoulder, to the chest, to the other shoulder. And just notice again where you feel it. This really starts to reveal how connected everything is in our bodies here. If you need more, taking that left knee, reach a hand around and hug that knee into your body. Your right bottom knee stays down. Maybe your forehead comes into the knee. It must be for real, 'cause now I can feel I didn't mind. It's not my kind. It's not my time to wonder why everything to release. Walk it up. Gently bring that right leg around if you can help it. Shake it out. Remember that I'll never forget where you're at. Other side, taking your left leg, bend it behind you. Move the flesh of the calf out to the side. Top of the foot as flat to the ground as possible. And walk it back. Activate the leg. Remember, actively push it into the floor. You might come down onto your elbows, but you don't have to. I'm alone all the time. Are you at one, or do you lie? We live in a wheel where everyone steals, but when we rise, maybe right knee comes up, foot to the ground. I treated you bad. You bruised my little sway. Could love you more. You got a beautiful taste. Playing with the position of the head. Don't let the days go by. For me, when I bring the chin closer to my chest, I feel a bigger stretch in the leg. Crazy, right? Awesome. Maybe you need that extra. One hand comes around, hugs the leg into the body, nose or forehead to the knee. And gently release. Reverse. Come up. Release the leg. Take that little shake out again. Alright, so I forgot to say this earlier, but if you have a yoga block or a book or a shoebox or something that's just kind of flat and small, kind of rectangular-ish, grab that. If you don't, it's okay, you don't have to have it. But just to add a little extra to the pose. You're going to take your legs and extend them. Oh, you know what? Let's do this first. Let's bring the right leg out to the side and the left foot in. And we don't need this yet, sorry. From here, walk your body forward. And you're looking for the half straddle stretch. So it's the inner right thigh that's going to get a little stretchier. And we're going to do something called pancaking the leg. And it's going to get into the hip. What's going to happen? Actually, I want to mirror you, okay? There we go. This should be your right leg going forward. So notice how the right toes are facing up toward the ceiling, right? The knee and the thigh are facing upward. What you're going to do, what pancaking is that you're going to roll the leg forward. So now the toes face forward, the knee faces forward, and you're trying to bring that inner thigh toward the ground. You can even take your hand and give it a little extra love. You should feel that in your hip. From here, roll it open, and you go down. There's that stretch in the inner thigh. So you're going to just pancake it. Roll forward, roll it up. Working into that right hip mobility. So when you roll forward, that right sit bone is going to come up off the ground, and when you roll back, the sit bone comes flat to the floor. You might even discover that you prefer the leg in one direction over the other, because it gives you two different sensations, right? Maybe you need one more than the other. And coming up. Bring that right leg in. Let's do the other side. You're going to notice probably one hip is very different than the other. Take it forward any amount. Right? When you pancake, you most likely will have to kind of rock off to the side, but if you can, stay center, right? Forward any amount. Look for the stretch in the inner thigh, and then when you're ready, start to pancake. Sit bone up, the sit bone down, rolling the hip forward and open. Now for me, this side's a little bit more sensitive. Breathe, check in. And walk it up. Okay, now we're going to use that block if you have it, but again, you don't have to have it. We're going to go to full straddle. So this one, take as big of a straddle as you can make it, right? And if you discover this is too wide, you can always bring the legs closer together for a little bit more base support, yeah? I'm going to turn slightly sideways for this so you can see the shape of the spine. What we're going to do is bring your little prop, whatever you grabbed, if you grabbed one, bring it slightly in front of you, about 5 inches in front of the pelvic floor. Arms out to the sides. And you're going to try and touch your belly button belly to your block. Cool. Keep your toes facing up. No pancaking here. You know, some people will call this pancaking, but it's not. And I have a wall here. If you want to bring your arms up, it's totally cool too. I like to do a hand grab sometimes and pull the elbows back. They also have levels with the block. If you are using a block, you have a medium level, you have a high level as well. And then you can start to even move that block further forward and start working again belly to touch the block. So because we're not using our hands, we got a lot of thigh activation, there's a lot of hip activation, core activation, right? Really that stretch in your inner thighs. All right, come on up. Take your block away. That's all we had to do for. From here, now let your hands come down in front of you, support, and you're going to pretend it's still there. You're going to lead with the belly. So the very first part of your torso that touches the ground would be your belly, yeah? Then the chest would come next. The head would come last. And a lot of times what happens in this pose is people tend to do the opposite, right? They start to look like this, and that they think the head has to be the first thing to come down. And really, it's the opposite. Belly is the first thing to come down. So just play in this pose for a moment. You can sway if you want to. You can go over to one leg and then the other. If you want to now play with pancaking both legs forward and up, you can. So notice how that feels in your hips. Breathe. Just a flesh wound is your rifle. And start to come up. Ooh, how about your legs? Bring them in. Shake them out. That should be a pretty big release. Let's come onto our back. Scoot it up. Take only about 3 rolls to come onto your back. With you I serve, with you I fall. On that third one, stay down. Hands on the knees. Guide your knees in circles. Ooh, massage. Watch you breathing, watch you breathing out. Your favorite twist. Open the arms, drop the legs over to the right, head goes left. Any twist you like. You can cross the legs if you like, extend one and the other. Hold your hand through plastic now. Doc, I think she's crashing out. Inhale, return to center. And some things you just can't take it to the other side when you're ready. And return it up to center. Take a last moment for yourself, a little personal practice moment, anything that you feel your body needs. Just one single glimpse of relief to make some sense of what you see. With you I serve, with you I fall down, down. When you're ready, stepping out into your last pose, Shavasana. Exhales grow longer than your inhales. The body begins to settle into the ground. And we're going to practice a little bit of self-love today. So bring to your mind silently list 5 things that you admire about yourself physically. complementing 5 areas of your body. Now, 5 things you admire, you like about your personality, your spirit. Maybe this is difficult. Maybe it's easy. Notice that. Be aware of it. Aware of any emotions that arose from these compliments to yourself. Now just breathe. Nothing more to do. No words. Return your awareness to this space, to your breath becoming fuller and deeper. Movement as you wiggle toes, fingers, wrists and ankles. You might roll your thighs in and out, little butt squeezes. You could stretch your arms over the head as if you just woke up, taking a yawn, wiggle the jaw, the tongue. Start to walk your feet into the sit bones and roll over to either side of your body. Slowly we rise, finding any comfortable sitting position. Taking one hand over your heart space and then the other on top. Feel the warmth of your hands, feel your heartbeat. Saying this intention to yourself silently. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be guided peacefully through this life. With so much love. Namaste.